Thank you so much for those very kind words in introducing all my illustrious panelists, Isha. Well, everyone, very good evening, everyone, and we welcome you all to this Indo-Armenian Design Summit in this beautiful city of Yerevan. And yes, I welcome all my esteemed speakers, and we are just about to commence our panel discussion, which is the second one for the evening. And the topic for this discussion is Design Alchemy, navigating the shifting trends in the realm of interior design trends. So, are we guys comfortable? Okay. I'm going to start and put my first question to the panel. So, as we all know, that both India and Armenia are very rich and diverse, culturally very rich nations. The question that I like to put here is very specifically to Ms. Annie first, actually, if you would like to take that question. How do our local cultural influences that we have in our respective countries influence the way we, say, respond to or adapt to global interior design trends?
Ողջույն բոլորին, ինչքան էլ որ մենք սիրում ենք շատ մեր մշակույթը, միշտ փորձում ենք հիշել այն, նորովին ներկայացնել, դրա հետ մեկտեղ մենք շատ սիրում ենք նաև դրսի մշակույթը ուսումնասիրել ու գտնել.
Hi everyone, though we love our culture a lot, but at the same time we understand that our culture is undergoing certain influences from other cultures.
Գտնել եզրեր, ավելի զարգանալու և միմյանց հետ մշակույթները խաչելու, որովհետև դա մեզ տալիս է հնարավորություն ավելի ծանոթանալ դիզայներն ու ճարտարապետությանը և մեր մշակույթը նորովի ներկայացնել.
We are looking into possibilities of combining cultures. We are looking into ways of how it is possible to do that. We're studying other cultures. We perfectly know what we want, how we can look at ours, and then we try to bring them together.
Ես կարծում եմ, ինչպես մենք ունենք մեր ուրույն ճարտարապետությունն ու մշակույթը, Հնդկաստանը նույնպես ունի իր աչքով ընկնող ուրույն ճարտարապետությունը եւ մեր փոխադարձ ծանոթացումը իրար մշակույթների հետ կարող է նոր հետաքրքիր հորիզոններ բացել երկուստեք.
Of course, Armenia has a very unique culture, and of course, India has a very unique culture. I'm thinking that the possibility of understanding these two may only open new horizons for cooperation.
Well, surely, and that's what we are all here for. Dr. Ananyan, what would you like to say on that?
Yeah, thank you for your question. Good evening, dear colleagues. Yeah, I think that nowadays in globalized world, where borders and edges are somehow erased and Earth is getting smaller because planes are faster and IT technologies are developing, and somehow design is getting similar to each other, like we are in Japan interior or European, in France or in America, we cannot differ one from another. So in this case, some 15 years ago, I had an article, I was already feeling this for that time, and I had an article called Ethno-Minimalistic Interiors, and in our case, when Armenia and India both we have huge cultural heritage, like very huge and very old. We are just obligated to show it to the world, and with a minimal ethno-strich, just ethnical some addings, we can give this, already spoken about that today, this national flavor, good word, flavor or ethnical identity to interiors, and we can use this globalized high-tech new materials for background, but always add something special with, and it's very important that with this step we will help not to lose these arts and crafts, applied arts, handcrafts, so we designers have to push them these artists, designers who are creating these ethnical arts and applied arts with their hands, so it's handmade often. We have to make these handmade crafts not to be, to live in 21st century. This is very important, I think. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I would like to just say that you're talking about ethnicity and its importance. So I could see that really embedded in your country. I mean, it's just been maybe a few hours that I've landed into Yerevan, but I've just navigated through the streets a bit, and I could see a rampant usage of stone, and things are still untouched. And I really see how the integrity of culture really means a lot to you and the entire civilization. So kudos for that as well. Can we go on to you, Manmeet, please?
Greetings to my fellow friends. Well, talking about India and Armenia, both are significantly rich in their culture, which gives a different and unique space, a vision to space. So basically, I think if I talk about the India, like my seniors has already spoken about it, we have a very diverse culture in India. And so deriving from the intricate details from the Mughal architecture to the minimalistic modernization, how we balance, and that's what we try to incorporate in our projects. So this is how we have to balance, like keeping our history, our ancient themes into our projects, keeping in mind the modernization as well. So if I talk about like my fellow architect friend, he just spoke about it. Like in India, we take use of the handcrafted stones materials and how we incorporated it. And my visit to Armenia, when I saw, it's a city full of like heritage stones like that we have in India. And in fact, as an architect and designer, we also try to incorporate using the stones cutting from the hills, and we use this and that in our front facades as well. So we are using that in our projects as well. Thank you.
To all the Armenian audience out here, we have a specific, I mean, India, of course, it's a very huge, diverse country. So South Indian temples, there are these ancient South Indian temples that are cut out from, say, a solid piece of rock. So maybe you can always see those references, you know. Let's go on to you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Greenland for organizing such a beautiful event. So, getting back to the question, yes, I have the similar views, but still I would like to put it in my words. So, since centuries, we have seen that the cultures have influenced the design trends and vice versa. So, India being one of the most ancient civilizations in the world, we have a very rich and deep cultural history, which has been passed down to us since centuries, and it has been imbibed in us. So, welcoming and adapting to any global trend is very easy if I know my culture very well. So, I just need to reshape the fresh ideas and trends, keeping those values in mind. Again, when I talk about global trends, the most trending thing right now, or what you can say, is the sustainability and eco-friendliness, which has come to the forefront. So we try to include that as much as possible in our everyday design practices. So we try to include a lot of local materials, natural materials as much as possible in our design. If I talk about micro level in designing, so in India, we have a lot of symbols of spiritualism in our design, like motifs and mandalas. Even the religious artifacts are used. So we try to incorporate those things in a very subtle, respectful way while ensuring the modern contemporary feel to it. Okay, so again, when we are talking about incorporating global trends, so every project is different. For India, there is a culture of joint family and very close-knit family as opposed to anyone globally. We even believe in Vastu Shastra. That's a very traditional Hindu system of architecture and even a science. So the global trends might not necessarily be universally applied, but we try to find a healthy balance between these global trends as well as keeping the local culture and design in mind.
Yes, I totally agree. For the Armenian friends, the reference of Vastu Shastra is in India is synonymous to what Feng Shui is to China. So that is the reference
Feng
which
Shui,
Nidhi is trying to draw. Yeah, please, Manmeet.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing to her thing. She introduced a very nice point, how we intricate the smaller details into the vast project. And today I was really mesmerized by the projects by architect Gurpit Shahji. So how he has done the vast airport, the scale of the projects, and how he has depicted the culture of each and every state into it, that was mind-blowing. That was humongous. Thank you, Gurprit sir, for that knowledge, though.
So I guess we can go to Mr. Wahe now. Hi. So yeah, just putting the question again that is going around in the panel, that how do the local and cultural influences in your country, Armenia, influence the way you adopt global interior design trends?
Hello everyone, thank you very much for the question.
Մենակ մեր չէ, ընդհանուր ամբողջ աշխարհում գլոբալիզացիայի արդյունքում մենք ունենք ինտերնացիոնալ կոչված ոճ, որով որ ամբողջ աշխարհն է շարժվում առաջ.
And it's not only our style, it's not only our design that we're speaking about. There is globalization going on, and it has its reflections in all designs in all the countries of the world. That's how the world is moving forward.
Եվ այդ ինտերնացիոնալիզմի արդյունքում մենք կարողանում ենք երկրները էթնիկ ինչ-որ ոճերը տարբերել հենց այդ էթնիկ էլեմենտներով.
And there is whole internationalization going on of the design and architecture specifically, and we're capable of identifying specificities in design by the identities that we have.
Մենք շատ խոսեցինք Տուֆից, հայկական հիմնական շինանյութից, որը նախկինում շատ օգտագործել ենք ֆիզիկական իր հնարավորությունների համար.
We spoke a lot about the main construction material, the main stone that Armenia uses as the construction material. It's a volcanic variety of stone. It's called Tufa.
Այն ժամանակ հիմնական ֆունկցիան, որը Տուֆը կատարում էր շենքերում, դա ջերմաիզոլացիան էր.
The main function of that stone used to be before, in construction specifically, was insulation of heat.
Այսօր տեխնոլոգիաները զարգանալով Տուֆի այդ հատկությունը մղել են երկրորդ պլան. Տուֆը այսօր մեզ համար դարձել է ավելի շատ դեկորատիվ նյութ.
And today, due to the development of the technology, that volcanic stone has turned into an element of decor rather than a construction material.
Տուֆի միջոցով եւ հայկական ճարտարապետական որոշ էլեմենտների միջոցով մենք կարողանում ենք ինտերնացիոնալիզմի մեջ որոշակիորեն առանձնացնել մեր հայկական ոճը, մեր հայկական խոսքը ասել.
And it is only with the help of that construction material, that volcanic stone, which is called Tufa, we're capable of expressing the Armenian twist in the architecture and construction.
Իհարկե հետևելով Հնդկաստանի օրինակին, հետևելով Ճապոնիայի Վաբի-Սաբիի օրինակին, մենք տեսնում ենք, որ բոլոր երկրներում ինտերնացիոնալիզմի ուրույն դրսևորումը հենց այդ տեսքով է ի հայտ գալիս.
But of course we have been following the developments in this sector in many countries, and we can clearly notice that all the countries especially have tried to identify something specifically national in order to express themselves in the architecture through globalization.
Քիչ առաջ մենք տեսանք հրաշալի ճարտարապետական օրինակներ Հնդկաստանի մեր գործընկերոջ կողմից ներկայացված.
Minutes ago we witnessed wonderful architectural works presented by our colleague from India.
որտեղ որ մոդեռնիզմի հետ իհարկե համեմված էին հնդկական որոշ տրադիցիոն էլեմենտներ, դետալներ,
And we could clearly see the Indian tradition in the most modern construction and architecture,
ինչի մասին եւ ես նոր խոսում էի։
which is what I was just saying exactly.
Thank you so much for the valuable insight, especially on the stone tufa and its historical relevance and explaining all of this to us. And I understand your dilemma as well that you're having in your mind, because I think we all the time as architects and designers are constantly in this battle and struggle within the mind as to we have to choose between tradition and modernity, between culture and the way the world is going. But of course, we will of course try to balance it. And thank you so much for your lovely words. So yes, we come back to you, Raghavi. Tell us what you think about it.
Hi, good evening. Greetings from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. So, according to me, it is just understanding the cultural differences we have in India and Armenia. So, when it comes to India, it is basically about the rich cultural heritages that we follow, and also the key important interior design elements that we follow. Maybe it may be the color, texture, it may be the vibrant, any other colors using in the design psychology. And also talking about the sustainability, wherein people look into sustainability as a major criteria because of the climate change that is happening all over, and the resources that are getting completely depleted. People should get an awareness about the sustainability is what I feel. And one more thing, sustainability is fine, but the durability and also the longevity of the material plays a major role. And I feel as designers, we need to try to incorporate a lot of sustainable materials and locally available materials that are available, and use it in a more sensible way. So it is all in our hands to bring the change.
Thank you so much, Raghavi. Well, I totally agree with you that climate change is for real and it is here knocking at our doors. So after this very insightful round of discussion, I would just like to add that of course, if you're having a discussion about interior design trends and the shift in the trends, we cannot skip materials and materiality. So my second question to the prestigious panel out here is that obviously materials selection and newer age materials, they're all coming. Emerging materials are a part of a design evolution. They are very pivotal to the whole design evolution and the design process in our countries. Can you elucidate or say, can you just tell us briefly about any examples of your work or any innovation in materials that you've done in any of your projects in any big or small way that we can say has challenged current interior design trends, or something that has been nothing short of path-breaking? Dr. Ananyan.
I think that India is booming now. I lived in India in 2017, almost 1 year. I lived in Mumbai. We had even a company started there, and had some wonderful projects in Chennai, bungalow projects, but they were not implemented. I think that in changing world, India is getting more and more powerful, and I've seen the quality and diversity of materials. So I think that changes are coming faster than we expect, and I think that new challenges of the world we face, especially where, I used to live also in West, also some 18 years of experience in Moscow. So in many cases we can say that Western civilization is somehow squeezed or out of concept, ideology. And for me personally, I see very much a lot of interesting possibilities, diverse ways for development and cooperation and co-development and collaboration in this so-called southeastern way from Armenia, like Armenia, Iran, India, also China as a very powerful and ancient civilization. And I think that this chain of all these countries of the world, let me to tell you the truth, will face this challenge with dignity, and we can conquer all difficulties together. Also, I hope that diversity and also economically more materials with some advantages for Armenian market will appear more and more in Armenian market. I mean Indian materials, and not only fencing and design, but also heavy construction, structural and other materials. We had also experience of designing Indian, American, Armenian rebar and metal, biggest industrial building of Armenia in Arad province with Indian investors. So I'm very much happy in this matter. So I want to mention that not only fencing design, interior design is only developing, but also heavy structure, heavy construction, cooperation in all fields, as well as in cultural, of course, in spiritual. So India is the motherland for two world religions. Maybe Armenians are first Christians, but India is first Hindu and also Buddhism. I'm half Buddhist, so, you know, in my spirit somehow. So I always found a huge, biggest maybe source of inspiration in India. First visited in 2008, so from south to the top of Himalaya. So I'm quite well acquainted with your culture, and I wish same to you. Just Armenia is smaller, you can do it quicker, very diverse. I'm sure you will get a lot of source of inspiration for your next projects. Thank you.
Well, I'm sure, and I invite you to come to our country, and please travel more and stay more with us.
Thank you.
Miss Annie, can we have your views on this? Okay. So my second question is that I'm talking about, since a lot of emerging materials are very important for the evolution of design, are there any innovative materials or projects that you've done recently or in the past that have challenged any current global design trends?
Ինչպես բոլորս տեսնում ենք, դիզայնը զարգանում է շատ արագ, կախված տարբեր ազդեցություններից.
The main character of development in design is its speed, depending on various factors.
Եվ այդ ազդեցություններից մեկը հենց տեխնոլոգիաների զարգացումն է ու մարդու պահանջմունքների ավելացումը.
One of those factors is the development of technology, and people are becoming more demanding.
Մեր օրերում մարդը անընդհատ կարիք ունի նոր փոփոխությունների.
Today, people need change all the time.
Եվ նորարարական այս միջոցները, ինչպես պանելներն են,
and innovative approaches like panels, for example,
դայն տարածում է գտել մեր ինտերիերներում,
have been significantly and largely used in the solutions that we have been offering.
Քանի որ այն տալիս մեզ նոր հնարավորություններ, շատ ավելի հեշտ է փոփոխության ենթարկելը, քան այլ նյութեր.
And due to these and the number of other innovations, we are now transforming the process of design in an easier manner.
Եվ քանի որ մենք հիմա մեր նախապատմությունը տալիս ենք ավելի բաց տարածքների, այն հնարավորություն է տալիս ավելի թեթևացնել տարածքը.
And since the main preference today among designers and among clients is more open space, it allows for lighter construction and less encumbering spaces.
Ինչպես նաև շատ էկոլոգիապես մաքուր լինելն է մեզ համար շատ առաջնային եւ այն հնարավորությունը տեքստուրաները այն միջավայրը, որոնք թույլ են տալիս այդ նորարարական միջոցները ստանալը մեզ համար շատ կարեւոր է այժմ.
Since being eco-friendly today is a requirement, the textures, colors, patterns, they're all selected in a manner so that we contribute to being eco-friendly and at least the perception of environmental protection.
COVID-19-ից հետո մենք ոնց որ հասկացանք, թե ինչքան կարևոր է տարածքը մարդու համար եւ թեկուզ տունը 4 պատից այն կողմ մեզ համար դարձավ միջավայր եւ հասկացանք, որ այդ միջավայրը անընդհատ փոփոխելու կարիք է լինում ըստ պահանջների.
Especially after COVID-19, we understood how important space can be for people, how important it might be not to stay in 4 walls, and all the respective solutions came afterwards.
Եվ նորական միջոցներն են, որ մեզ հնարավորություն են տալիս այդ փոփոխվող միջավայրը ստանալ.
And it is the innovation that provides for ensuring that easily changing environment.
Եվ ստեղծել մարդու համար ամենակարևոր հարմարավետությունը.
While creating comfort for people.
Thank you so much, Ani. Can we have your views, Vahe?
Խոսեմ կարճ.
This is going to be very brief.
Մենք չունենք այնց պրոյեկտ, որտեղ չենք առնչվում ամենավերջին տեխնոլոգիաների, նորարարությունների հետ.
All our projects deal with the most modern technology and innovation.
Միտեղ հարդարման նյութերի մասով, միտեղ ինժեներական տեխնոլոգիաների մասով, որոնք գալիս են արդեն փակելու կարիք են ունենում.
Innovation is everywhere, in the construction, in the design, in the veneer, in the inner spaces.
Այս պահին Վալան Պրոֆի հետ իրականացնում ենք մի հատ պրոյեկտ Orange Fitness ակումբի լողավազանը.
We are currently implementing a project together with Valan Prof. It is the swimming pool of Orange Fitness.
Եվ այդտեղ Վալան Պրոֆի առաջարկած Greenlam-ի HPL պանելները մեզ եկան փրկելու լողավազանի ինտերիերում հարուստ փայտ ունենալու հարցում.
And in fact, the HPA panels offered through Valan Prof came to save us in the full completion of the project.
Դա վառօրինակ է նոր տեխնոլոգիաների, նոր նյութերի կիրառման.
I think this is a great example of using the state-of-art technology and construction materials.
Sure it is. Thank you so much, Vahe. We come back to our the lovely ladies here. Manmeet.
So I think if I talk about the emerging materials in India, we all remember the terrazzo. If
yes,
we
the good old
remember.
terrazzo.
So like every house has a terrazzo on the flooring. So that is I think a big comeback of terrazzo, and we ourselves are using a lot, like not on the flooring, but we are using in like sitting patterns, landscape patterns. Maybe we are creating some nice spaces, the courtyard areas. So that was one of the big comeback. And the other, if I talk about the bamboo architecture. So Baans ke ghar, what we say always. So it's a amazing architecture, bamboo architecture, and plus aesthetically so appealing, and the majorly sustainability.
Yeah.
Sustainability. So that's like how we are using it in restaurants, in like outhouse areas, in clubs or bars. So one. And if I talk more about, if we all remember the terracotta bricks. So terracotta now has come into the new forms, like terracotta jalis and the bricks and all. So these are like the temperature
control.
Yeah, temperature control.
Yeah.
And you asked about the basically how we face our challenges in these. So terrazzo, it's given the terracotta bricks, if I talk about the terracotta jalis. Recently we just did one project, so my client was very, very much sure about we want this, we don't want the south sun coming from this direction and all. So there we created a pattern of the jalis that gives a beautiful shadows inside the house and to the courtyard, and it gives a marvelous effect. So I think the emerging materials it's a new trending materials for our young age.
Great to know that you're using our good old terrazzo, terracotta, and as well as bamboo again. So over to you.
Yeah, hi. I'll keep my answer short and I'll come to the point as we are very short of time. So we are working with this very interesting material recently for a project for an external wall. It's on a very experimental stage and we are still doing research on it. So it is called LEC, light emitting concrete, or it is even popularly known as glowing walls. So it's basically a mixture of concrete which we are doing it with fiber optic lights. So those lights can work on even very minimum electricity as well as solar power. So when this gives a very mesmerizing effect when it works. So it is very aesthetically appealing and very, very apt for private buildings, especially the stairways and the common lobbies. The reason being it's very low maintenance and it's weather resistant as well. So I wouldn't say that it's a challenge, but this is something we are doing it for the first time, and it's very, I have seen it very rarely in India, and we are taking it as a challenge. So I have, just to give an example of this, if you all know of Al-Aziz Masjid Mosque in Dubai.
Yes.
It's completely made of that. In fact, the birthplace of this material is Germany.
Okay.
So in Germany, they use concrete in the pathways. So in the pathways, they mix this concrete with photoluminescent aggregates.
Yes,
So
I've
it is
seen.
kind of glow in dark kind of an aggregate. So it takes the light from the sun during the day, and at the night the whole path glows. So
Yeah,
this
it's
is
been done in
something.
Netherlands as well, is what I've seen. That using
Yes.
it to light the roads
Yes,
at night.
yes.
Yeah.
So this is something we are recently using it in one of our project for the external wall. So it is, even this is a public building. So yeah.
A great effort. Anything new that is being embraced is definitely needs to be appreciated. Raghavi, let's come to you.
So going back to 1800s and 1900s, wherein people would love to get in textures and patterns in the flooring. So which was India's most popular thing called Chettinad tiles, the Athangudi tiles, which I use it as an emerging material in all my projects, because I try to maintain that as a significant and a signature for all the projects that I design and execute. So, and also the lime plastering, which I'm very much fond of, like how vibrant and how cool, and all the cooling properties and everything that gets up to. Even the Athangudi tiles, for that matter, keeps the place very cool and makes and it's very durable product. So that is it with me.
Thank you so much, all the panelists. I think we've had such an amazing time here, and the energy exchange done here has been phenomenal. And before I sign off, I would like to say Barev to my Armenian friends in the panel as well as the audience. This is me, your moderator, signing off with a panel of stars. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a lovely, lovely evening ahead. Thank you so much. See you.